Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrow, your success strategist, bringing you WealthWise 2025, week 38. Tonight, we're talking about designing wealth for global volatility, from fragile systems to future-proof strategies. In the past few weeks, we've stretched our thinking from climate and cyber resilience to longevity wealth planning for the 100-year life and navigating geopolitics in an AI-driven world. Together, these lessons underline a hard truth. Volatility is no longer an occasional shock. It is the baseline. This week, we can go one step further, not just protecting against chaos, but designing for it. Fragile wealth systems crack when hit by stress. Future-proof systems, however, adapt, absorb, and even gain from uncertainty. The ultimate challenge of our time is this: can your wealth withstand systemic shocks and still grow stronger? Why does this matter now? Because three global forces make this urgent. One, AI saturation. Technology can automate functions, but not judgment. As AI reshapes every market, leaders are judged not by speed, but by discernment. Can you filter hype from signal? Information chaos, news cycles, disinformation, and algorithm-driven noise erode clarity. People aren't starved for data, they're starved for trust and direction. Lastly, organizational stakes. Boards, employees, and customers all ask, can I trust this leader to make the right call under pressure? The answer increasingly determines capital flows, brand equity, and wealth outcomes. In this environment, fragility is expensive. Resilience, trust, and foresight are now the ultimate wealth multipliers. So we need to look at fragile versus future-proof wealth systems, because fragile systems are concentrated in one geography with one employer or one asset class. Might be over-leveraged on cheap debt. You might react to headlines instead of strategy. It might be dependent on external credibility rather than intrinsic integrity. But future-proof systems are different. They are diversified across time horizons. Cash today, regenerative assets tomorrow, legacy for decades. They are designed with transparency and integrity as core operating principles. And they are strengthened by shocks because each disruption creates new learning loops, skills, and optionality. So our case example, during the pandemic, fragile portfolios collapsed under retail energy concentration, while adaptive portfolios gained from digital infrastructure, renewable energy, and health tech. Where is your wealth too concentrated, too reactive, or dependent on conditions you don't control? Write down this one fragility. So next we look at the future-proof wealth stack. Let's build your personal volatility advantage portfolio, extending your resilience portfolio into 9 stacked layers. Yes, 9. First, Global Resilience Fund. This is where you have a mix of currencies, sustainable infrastructure, and commodities. Again, this is not investing advice from a licensed person. This is overall strategy to future-proof your wealth stack. You can hedge against inflation, sanctions, and energy shocks. You can look at integrity capital by investing in companies and funds with high governance and ESG standards. Why? Because in crises, trust outpaces speculation. You can have volatility of harvesting assets. Example, option strategies, inverse ETFs, or energy microgrids. These are typically designed for small tactical allocations that profit when systems break. Number 4, narrative navigation tools like a personal foresight journal, peer intelligence networks, and combating disinformation by building your own signal filter. Number 5, skill-linked income streams. This is consulting, AI-powered services, and productized expertise. Income you can dial up or down regardless of macro cycles. 6, community anchors can own or invest in local businesses, co-ops, or regenerative projects. You can build resilience by rooting wealth in your community. 7, adaptive tech funds. AI, quantum, biotech, cybersecurity. But filter investments by governance quality, not just hype. Human capital development, education, credentials, IP, and cross-cultural literacy. And portable wealth you carry everywhere. Lastly, a joy and slack fund. Protect your time, health, and relationships. Why? Because high-stress volatility environments demand clarity and creativity of you. So which 2 layers are underdeveloped in your current wealth design? Going from chaos to opportunity. Volatility creates entry points for those positioned with foresight, such as energy and infrastructure, distributed energy, smart grids, and local production protect against fragility and generate yield. Cyber resilience, investing in cyber capability in both defensive and offense, and is opportunity rich as demand skyrockets. Neutral corridors, regions like ASEAN, Latin America, and Africa benefit from global realignments, power blocks shift over time. And lastly, regenerative assets. Land, water, and climate smart agriculture will outperform as scarcity rises. So an example is that Singapore's strategic clarity transformed it into a smart hub for trade, AI, and green finance. The lesson: focus outperforms scatter. So what are our tools for leaders to help move us forward? Well, the first one is the 15-5 chaos sprint. Each week, take one volatility headline, take 15 minutes and draft 3 moves: bold, profit; safe, hedge; stay, monitor. 5 minutes to decide your next step based on one of those, or a mix of those 3 moves. The fragility audit. Identify your top 10 initiatives and holdings. Circle the top 3 with disproportionate impact. Eliminate or delegate the rest. The integrity lens. Before each investment, ask, does this company project have clarity, ethics, and governance? If not, volatility will ultimately expose the weaknesses. Consider what you can do, again, to reduce or minimize your risk. So our challenge of the week: identify one fragile spot in your wealth. Add one future-proofing layer with the wealth stack. Run one chaos sprint drill using this week's headlines. Share your action with your accountability circle. And last, volatility is not the enemy, it's the forge. Fragile systems crack under pressure. Future-proofing systems adapt, absorb, and even thrive. This week, train yourself to see uncertainty not as chaos, but as raw material for wealth advantage. Because in the end, resilience is not about survival. It's about using shocks to build stronger, more intentional systems of wealth that last generations. So what is our way forward? Finding fragility, adding resilience, practicing integrity, and turning volatility into your competitive edge. Again, this is Dr. Rhonda Farrell bringing you WealthWise 2025 Week 38, rounding out designing wealth for global volatility. Volatility from fragile systems to future-proof strategies.